right, let's do the show. All right. All right, family. Almost there. Don't forget, tell a friend we're live. Here we are every Friday, 10 p.m. Let's see what we can do. Voila, fantastic. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Welcome on to the Black Man Broadcast. I'm your host, Brother Raven. Let's actually get the PDF that we use every week. That's right. Don't forget to tell a friend we're live. This is the community show. That's right. It's for members of the Black community coming to find solutions as we're here. All right. So where we are now, I'm trying to find something. There we go. Windows. There it is. I believe it's this one here. Big up everyone in the house today. On the correct page, but we're going to start as we always start. We're going to go through. I've got loads of windows open, trying to download numerous videos for today's show. Let's see if I can. I don't know. There we go. PDF. Oh, where's it go? Oh, it's right in front of me. All right. So let's actually start as we always start at the beginning. Dun, 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 dun. And that is this is the 286th episode. That's right. It's 286 attempts at trying solutions. That's not bad, isn't it? Not bad at all. Big up, Brother Dominic in the house. Don't forget to follow the Black Betterment building Instagram. It's right there. You know what I haven't also posted as well? I also haven't posted the share thing. You know where you allow. So let me just do that just in case. Matter of fact, I think last week there was an issue with it. You know what? And I'm a bad person. I did say I was going to try to actually work out what was wrong, and I didn't. So hopefully this week it's not too much of a problematic thing. I'll test it right now. But let's go through as we always go through, and that is we're talking about retroactive expectations. We'll start with that fantastic collection of words there. Let me just post to see if it works. And that is are the constructive activities that the Black community are desired to uphold to collectively recover from atrocities of the past. Now, when we cover today's topic, we realize there's many behaviors that seems to come from atrocities of the past. Hopefully we can fix them. Let's see if this works. Please say it works. Hold on. Go to channel. It's funny. It's funny if I click that, get rid of the T, and then I'm just telling because you know what? Last week we had some kind of problems, right? And I don't know, still not working. Oh, fair enough. Oh no, it is. Hold on. Yeah, it's still not working. So what are you gonna do? All right, I'll just get rid of that. Well, I can post it. But it just can't pin it. I think last week we had the issues. I couldn't post it, but I could pin it. It was something like that. Some funny business. How do I delete that as well? I don't even know. Or am I meant to post it on one and then do the other? You know what? Sometimes I'm learning so many new things that I forget how I did some old things. It is quite funny. But anyway, yeah, let's go through as we are. So we're talking about remember the atrocities inflicted upon the ancestors and the community in the past and present, and behave in a way that reflects this. Don't forget to reconnect with Black people locally and globally, and form networks to teach each other about different cultures, to repair the Black community of the historical trauma that caused the self-hate challenges and health issues, and to rebuild the Black family, Black economics, and Black nations. Right. So that's what we always do. This is pretty much about. In order to make that process easier, we recommend that you practice a lifestyle called Black Betterment. That's Black people helping Black people on Black issues. That's it, really. Trying to make that popular as possible. How to make helping Black people trendy. So so there you go. So boom, boom, boom. Let me. I'm gonna do that one more time, and then let me see if I can do it now. Let me post it here as well. That might be. Maybe if I did it like that. Hold on, I was gonna test something, fam. No, you see, YouTube rejected your comment. This is fairly. So man, I can't be bothered to research things at this moment. But yeah, so let me know if you guys can click in, and if you want to click in, let me know. I'll find a way to get you. But I think something has changed when it comes to StreamYard and YouTube. Maybe they're at war, or maybe it's just a software I'm using. Who knows? Anyway, let's move on. We're not going to dwell on that. If you guys want to jump in, let me know, and we'll find a way to make it so. But if not, I'm just going to carry on. All right, so where are we? Let's see what page we're on. So let's talk about. Don't forget. Well, if you can get in, discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment. Use those 4D values whenever you're talking in the show. And I would recommend that the brothers and sisters that we talk about today use those as well when they're public. And we're going to go over the topics to see why. Try to use descriptive language over derogatory language if possible. All right, what's the two topics today, family? Today's two topics are black people who want to be English. We explore why being denied the identity English or British deeply offends some black people. We've covered this before. We've got some old footage, some new one of some sister Nana, I think, and we're gonna unpack that as well as mocking the misfortunate online. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Re-examine why some voices online feel feel comfortable mocking misfortunate. Tongue tie. Yeah, so I saw one quite shocking behavior, but then as I saw one, I saw a whole lot of different ones. Funny enough, all kind of centered around the same kind of community of entertainers, I guess. So maybe that's the thing. But let's unpack. So what I'll do is I'll play some videos that's not connected to today's topic, just so I can really go over what I need to do to fix some of these issues. And it looks like some of this one. So let's see what we can find out on. Oh, yeah, we'll come to that one as well. Oh, yeah, that'll be a good one. Yeah, so we talk about black unity. Nice way to start while I look up.
Is unity. And this is why so many over the last few decades or even centuries have tried to stop it. When I launched BHSS, a black politician said to me, Natalie, black people need to be everywhere. In every
she talks about sickle cell in this post, and that's going to segue into one of the posts as well.
Every facet, in every sector. It's important that we have representation, because usually people with power have no diverse representation, and it's easy for them to make decisions without giving any thought to who it will impact. So the Sickle Cell Day unit was closed, and then it was announced that it will reopen. It was found that there was no EQIA assessment or meaningful consultation with the community. So an EQIA assessment is a quality and impact assessment. And what it does is it measures the risk to a certain group if a particular decision is made. Now, these processes were meant to protect marginalized groups, but when it comes to people in power and their convenience and their priority of saving costs, it's easier for them to just discard these ethical processes when it comes to the Black community. There's usually no one holding them accountable, and there's usually no one with a lived experience at that level to challenge them. The reopening of the day unit didn't happen because someone in power had a change of heart, right? They knew the risk. They knew there was a risk of death to Black life if it was closed, but they did it anyway. However, collectively, Black people came together from all different backgrounds, from all different ethnic groups to drive this change. We had Black media who were raising the issue when mainstream media was ignoring it. We had Black politicians continually bring this up in Parliament. We had activists and patients raise petitions, share their stories. We had our foots on their necks, and that's what drove change. That's the kind of power that people have when they come together. And it's time for Black people to start exercising this power more and more. We can't relax because a decision has been made. If it wasn't for all of the nagging, then the decision would have stayed the same. Now, the attitude towards Black people that made the decision to close the unit in the first place still exists. And that's why we need to keep driving. So what I would say, Black people, is start taking up positions. Start supporting Black news, Black media, and Black press. Take up political positions. Become councillors. Become MPs. Go for mayor. Like, why not? The mayor's the head of the council, decides where the budget goes. Change doesn't come from one single voice. This happened because we had Black consultants, we had Black doctors. This happens because we had Black people in governance who knew something was wrong. Take up space each and every time. Last year, we ran a sickle cell campaign to highlight the dangers that Black people face when services aren't designed inclusively.
All right, big up the sister there. What am I doing? Sorry, I've got so many windows open. So yeah, so big up that sister there, and and that kind of segues into some sickle cell comment that I heard online. But yeah, I think she said is it one more thing she said that might be quite constructively good to listen to. Let's see.
This is what happens. By now, you would have heard about the racial slur.
Oh yeah, she was talking. This is her take. This was her take on last week. Last week she covered. We covered the BAFTA's Tourette's scenario situation. And yeah, it was good to hear the sisters' take on it. I've also got some European one we're talking about, but we might play it more another day.
Just learned that John Davidson shouted during a speech given by Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan at the BAFTAs. He said the N-word, and a lot of people are excusing it because he's disabled. A lot of us agree that the responsibility really is on the BBC. The BAFTAs isn't live. They could have easily edited it out. If you cast your mind back to 2020, you will remember when Sideman, he quit his job because the BBC allowed a journalist to repeat the same N-word live on air, and they even doubled down on it by saying that it was absolutely...
I heard about that. So that's something, remember, that he did walk out and it was from some kind of issue like that. So that shows you that the sensibilities and whoever's in charge seems to have black people's kind of feelings not really on a high priority.
Absolutely fine given the context. What's clear is that the BBC doesn't value its black viewers. It was a conscious decision to keep it in there. A frustration for me comes from the way black people, especially celebrities and artists, the way they value these white institutions and award shows. For some reason, we feel like we're successful when we get a BAFTA or a Grammy, but we don't feel like we're successful when we get a MOBO or a BET award. Humans place value on things, and a lot of the...
That's important. Like we'll talk about here, like you know, deliberately placing value on black institutions and creating particular things for people that can be valued. You know, just like supporting a company. Sometimes we gonna say that because of how networks work, you might be paying a bit more for something else. But if it's connected to your values or your pride, you want to pay slightly bit more because you get it from a business, something that you can really talk about to a family, things you've done in the week, and take pictures for your social media, blah 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 blah. But it's how values work. If you value something, you'll do it.
These award shows would be nothing without black presence and black entertainment. If we continue to seek validation from these white spaces, there will never be a black alternative. I am not naive to the doors that open when you get a BAFTA, when you get a Brit, when you get a Grammy. It's obviously different because now you're going to have job opportunities, you're going to have money rolling in. And I'm not saying to boycott these spaces, especially if you are an aspiring actor or presenter, because we know that black people might not necessarily support you after that. We've all seen what's happened to Colin Kaepernick, who put his entire career on the line for black...
That's something that has to be reviewed. You know, when people like they're doing protests and they're losing their jobs, you gotta have some kind of maybe like a GoFundMe and stuff, these kinds of things. You know what I mean?
People in America, and as a response, black people support even more now. You've got black celebrities and artists went even harder than before he did that. Whilst Colin Kaepernick is begging for a job. Not one black celebrity has put this man on. But what I am saying is we can absolutely hold the same type of value to black spaces as we do white spaces, actually even more. You'll notice that as a black artist becomes more popular, becomes more famous, more successful, they're less and less likely to attend black award shows. If you are a black artist of a certain status, you don't have to exist in those spaces. You can also have a little bit more power to also hold them accountable, call them out, create those black spaces. I just feel like we're too beggy when it comes to white award shows, white institutions, white spaces. And if we put that same energy into our own spaces, the future generation won't have to exist in environments where they're subject to racism, trauma, and abuse.
All right, baby sister there. All right, let's see. We might jump in. I'm not going to play. This is her talking about obviously the Tourette's scenario. At some, you know, I think that topic is still circling and people are still giving their opinions on it. Just a quick analysis. I was saying that whenever you're dealing with people with disabilities, and this also segues into this topic as well. Whenever you're dealing with people with disabilities, you want to give the people in your black community who have disabilities like more of attention and more of professionalism, as in their understanding of something, and hear their opinions more. And you definitely don't want to lead ferocious and quite aggressive towards any person who might have a psychological disability, especially when we're dealing with these issues here. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be offended. Words can hurt and all that. But from a strategic standpoint, it's best to not go on YouTube and start just firing off your feelings about someone and accusing them of being suspected racist or whatever. Although that it just might be. It's just we were talking last week about there's better strategies of dealing with things. So sometimes the people who should be under the fire line, like BBC, get kind of ignored to focus more so on the symptom and not the problem, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what we covered last week. All right, let's see what other videos we've got with. Or are we gonna start? So let me just see. No. Quite. All right. Let's talk about. We'll start with this simple one. Let's see if I can find it. I'll pause it for now. I haven't blackified it, so hopefully it won't. Hopefully there won't be no. Oh no, you haven't thinged it. So well, I'll leave it in this frame and I'll see if that doesn't get it stopped. Whatever. I don't know. Can you play GB News stuff? Probably not. So let me skip to at least to the bit where it was. I think around about. I think it was. You've probably seen it. This is the sister Nana. She works for this station. This station is very right leaning, it seems, and she works for them. But I think she wasn't best pleased at something this Englishman said about identity is something. Let's see on here.
Was in law in 2014, and still we are seeing an increasing ethno-religious balkanisation in our towns.
Charlie, you're the one who's advocated this balkanisation. You don't think that I'm English, even though I've lived in this. I was born in England. I've lived here my whole life, but because I'm Jewish, but he comes from an Eastern European Ashkenazi Jewish background, you don't think I'm English. Now that, for me, is advocating in that political perspective, the classification of people.
Can I just ask you? Do you think I'm English?
Look, let's put that to one side for the minute, because we're going to go down a rabbit hole if we start.
So we've spoken before about especially about people who've married into European society, and they usually find themselves defending a lot of historical atrocities that went against black people. They really get impacted by not being allowed to identify as English. As far as I'm aware, English is an ethnic group, so saying you're English, unless they change the definition, isn't a nationality. It can be, but it's more so a ethnic group, just like ethnicity, just like Afro-Caribbean, Yoruba are seen as ethnic groups, right? So, are we though? Are we English deep down? Yeah. So a European or white person saying you can't be English, we understand where that comes from, because they talk about ethnicity and stuff. And also how the UK works is they talk about Britishness, as in your nationality is British, right? Whether you're British or not is another thing. But but their area of interest is black people who really go out of their way to be English, and how they feel when Europeans don't accept them in this kind of classification.
Talking about this sort of thing, and we don't have time to give it the detail that it deserves. Okay, so if we could just stay on this point.
Can I just stop you there? I know exactly how much time we've got.
Yeah.
There's no breaks in this hour. We've got time.
Yeah, she's definitely not happy about this.
All right, okay. Well,
let's skip this. Wherever then she comes back. I think it's somebody's put in the middle of a. There we go. It's a da. Oh, it's going to play.
If you want to go down this route, then I'm happy to do so, because
it's just a question.
But it is an important issue about what it means to be British.
What does it mean to be
English.
British then? Okay.
Well, but, I mean, we have made it very clear. Restore Britain have made it very clear that our position is that Britishness is not just defined by having a British passport. It is not just defined by believing in a set of abstract corporate-style values like democracy and the rule of law.
What is it defined?
Well, let me finish. So the position
is defined by not what it is.
The position of every mainstream party, from Reform UK right the way through to the Greens, is that Britishness is defined by having a passport or believing in democracy, right? In our view, that is an absolutely ridiculous definition, because Britain and the constituent nations that make this country up, England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, are ancient peoples. These are ancient nations that have existed continuously for over 1,000 years.
Yes.
And so there is a difference.
There is a difference. So am I British?
There is a difference between somebody...
Am I British?
No, I'm going to get to that.
I was born in Newcastle. I'm a Geordie. Am I British?
Well, look, you're born in Britain, you know, and all the rest of it. So in that sense, yes, you are British.
So
but there is
which bit of me isn't then?
Well, there is obviously a spectrum, because there is a difference between somebody who has come here in the last 5 years and got themselves a passport, and somebody like me, whose family has been in this country literally for thousands of years.
Okay,
there is a difference there, and this is an important
Have
difference.
you heard of Cheddar Man?
Yes.
Cheddar Man, turns out that he may well have been black and was here.
Oh, I think that's...
Hang on, no.
He didn't like to hear that one.
So it hasn't been fully. And apparently he was the first person in this country, and he was potentially black. In fact, if it is true that mankind came from Africa, then you come from Africa.
Yeah, this was funny stuff here where you know, obviously this is where some of the sisters and brothers try to get all in together kind of philosophies and ideologies. And yeah, there's no doubt that humanity descended from Africa. But like I said today, because of separation and the history of white supremacy and stuff, we have distinct groups and laws that governs each. So trying to crowbar Europeans into African identity, I don't think it's necessary.
Well, I mean...
Even though everyone has lineage to Africa from hundreds of thousands of years. But even, like I said, the purpose of the show is to show black people who really are white identified, really being deeply offended and trying to retwist and turn when they cannot identify as an English ethnic group. Or as a white ethnic group, I should say.
Well, if it's
so I think we all share a common ancestor.
Well, you might believe that,
theology.
but science says otherwise, that mankind came from Africa. If you're going, how far back are you going? I'm going back to the beginning.
For what?
Well, mankind.
For mankind?
Well, if they're saying the creation of mankind and mankind came from Africa, then you're from Africa. Your heritage all the way further back.
Well, if the out of Africa theory is correct, then yes, but that doesn't mean that doesn't make me African now.
Well, it means that there's a piece of you that is, which means you're not British.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying
it's because I'm just black, isn't it?
Oh, come on.
She just says because I'm black. This is a woman who most of the time we've covered her, she really is quite dismissive of racism and stuff like that. And I think some of the brothers sisters on these kind of shows, they really feel that the work they've put in can actually make them feel much more inclusive to the surrounding community that they want to be in. And when they don't get included, it really is quite hard hitting for them.
Come on. I think
he's not being
That laugh doesn't. It seems like she's very uncomfortable with that one. I could be wrong.
Don't you think she's English? You don't think I'm English? You think she's English?
No, hang on. So let's just get to the bottom of this very quickly.
Well,
this is really important, right?
If you could.
If I was born in China, that wouldn't make me Chinese, because Chinese, and well, I mean, there are many ethnicities contained within the category of Chinese, but it is fundamentally an ethnic identity. It's not a civic identity. And in the same way, if just because you're born in England doesn't make you English, I'm sorry, it doesn't.
But I think it's a fair point for Nana to ask about if you're going to have that policy, great, but how far back are you?
One generation. If you have, listen,
come on, let me just ask.
Come on.
If I had English grandparents, but then I would have been...
go that far. Let me come on. Come on.
Are you defining how far back we're
If you have an English parent, then you are. If you have two English parents, then you're English. If you have one English parent, then you're half English.
It's interesting because we're covering some of the disagreements going on in America at the moment with new identities and disagreements between African Americans and Africans and Caribbean, and that's a topic that we definitely want to continue covering and find solutions for the stuff there. But I had a few videos I was interested in. It was about far right Americans, I guess, and how they view things and how. That, despite them, that they understand that they can be descendant from Europe, but have their claim for America, and even though they say that, they still are open to other Europeans joining, even though they don't have a history in that country and stuff. So it's interesting that people of African descent, black people, we do spend some time disagreeing and trying to work things out and arguing and self-sabotaging. But other ethnic groups, more so white in this case, seem to, regardless if they go through wars and stuff, they seem to have a kind of a better way of unifying under these kind of topics. Let's carry on.
Nana's children, so Nana's children
So are my
to be
children,
English.
they're mixed race. Now, this is where it gets... No, this gets a bit tricky because they're mixed race. I was born in this country.
Mm-hmm. Is there any black person who works on the show who hasn't married a European? That'd be a good research to do.
They're mixed race, so they're not white, but my partners were English. But I don't know how far back they're English.
They're half English.
Yeah, but what if before then the thing was the dad was Irish?
Well, then they'd be half Irish, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but
no, they wouldn't. They'd be a quarter.
No, they'd be a quarter.
Well, so if your partner's parents, one of them was Irish.
You said it's a generation, isn't it?
So if one of them was Irish and one of them was English, that means your partner is half English and half Irish. That would mean that your children are one quarter English and one quarter Irish.
This is not illustrating the ludicrousness of this debate.
But it's not. No, but it's not, because everything that I've just said is factual, and I'm sure that plenty of people listening at home will understand what it is that I'm getting at here, because these are real things.
I don't get it. I'm not at home. I'm here right next to you.
But human beings are not just a grey, homogenous mass. There are differences between different groups of people who come from different places. The English, for example, are an ethnic group.
Yes.
They are a historic ethnic group. By the way, who has a right to exist.
So now you're using history, but when we said it was history, then you went one generation back. I've gone to the beginning. I've gone to the beginning.
That's interesting. But I've always heard that kind of delivery, having the right to exist. Just because obviously I debate online and stuff, and then people should throw that word around, having the right to exist. It usually always comes out at a certain point in the discussion.
Which would be that science suggests that mankind was born in Africa and made in Africa, and it spread out to all the different whatevers.
I think this European gentleman does a service to Black Betterment in the sense of when he stands on his square about ethnicity and what he wants and that, and he says it to Black people who unfortunately need that kind of wake up call, that as much as you want to be connected to a group or an ethnic wording or whatever, the people who historically are under that won't want that. I mean, and the question is it possible for you to be a British citizen but yet ethnically whatever Ghanaian tribe you're from, or whatever Jamaican ethnic group you're from, or whatever? Do you need to be an English ethnicity? Do you need to change how English is defined outside of language when it comes to ethnic groups? So that's the Black Betterment interest in this topic, and I'll stop there because I'll show you how it's similar to something we covered a few months back. It's very similar to this.
Saying that you are African Caribbean, which is fine, but how can you be African Caribbean and English? I couldn't be African. I'm English, but I certainly could not call myself African Caribbean.
You could be Irish, though. You could have Irish.
No, I'm not Irish.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
not
could
Scottish.
be. You could be.
No, I'm not, because I have looked my name right the way back to the Middle Ages, my maiden name, and I'm Anglo-Saxon.
Great.
But you will never be English. You are African Caribbean.
But why will I never be English?
Because you're African Caribbean.
Look,
I can't say to you.
At what point? What about my kids? What are my kids? What are my kids?
And that's another thing. Like a lot of these public speaking Black brothers and sisters, they're heavily married into European community and culture, and it deeply offends them. And I guess they can never be accepted. And this is another case they do. They can never be accepted as white, of course not, but as English ethnically or whatever, right? But I think they probably do long for the day where their children can look and be accepted as English. I could be wrong. You have to always speak to the gentleman. But it's funny, this.
I'm African Caribbean.
What? Yeah, but
now remember, let's break down what's happening here. Like, people are treated English as an ethnicity, as it is. If you Google it, so it is, right? I accept that. It's no issue, right? I see Britishness as a citizenship, as in you have a British passport, you're a citizen. So you can say you're British, whatever it is, right? But I understand why people will say English is an ethnicity, while British is a nationality, right? And then they say, so you can be a Black British, but you can't be Black English. That's what they're saying. I have no longing to be these things. It doesn't matter, right? But it is interesting when Black people really want to go beyond the Black British title and be ethnically Black English, or maybe they want to be nationalized as English. All right.
Truth is, Jean, just a little bit of history on this. Britain, 400 years ago, started going out into the world. It colonised and conquered a lot of the world. A lot of the world has ended up coming back to the mother country. My parents were part of that generation who came from the Caribbean. When I took a DNA test, I actually had Scottish in me, probably because as a result of that, someone somewhere, frankly, got their leg over with one of my ancestors. And
once again, this is the history of that is actually very barbaric and stuff. So I don't know why he would mention that tone. Once again, you know, he wants to have a connection.
Got Scottish blood running through me. I said that gently.
That's right. Being a British citizen doesn't make you British. Yeah, interesting. Yep. And this is a big discussion for us to have, I guess, about identity. And but for me, it's more so about strategic identity in the sense of, you know, how can Black people have value in self and coming together to do things. And I guess if your focus is trying to identify as European, whatever, it might be quite distracting. But I don't know. It's a good discussion to have. But I think what's interesting about these people here is they really want to be English.
But it could have been horrendous. Let's be clear about that. And here I am, having grown up in this country, have been born of this country, and actually, the truth is, it's a myth that there's one English ethnicity. There's not, because England has always been a country in which Huguenots, Danes, all sorts of people have passed through. So when you say you are English, I'm not saying that doesn't mean something to you and matter hugely.
It does.
Because there are probably, as you put it, years and years, hundreds of years of experience of that. But it is to say that for me, the fact that I was born here and the fact that my sensibilities are English mean that I want to claim that heritage as well. Now, I'm very comfortable saying I'm British, Black British, of course I am. And I'm very, very proud. No one could say I wasn't, because I talk about it all the time, about my Caribbean roots. And I know the Caribbean very well. But it's to say that I'm English. Sorry? What?
You're British, but you're not English.
Well, that's the point I think you're making, and I'm disagreeing with.
So this brother and the narcissist is like, they've got the British title. They're happy to be British and they really love that, but they want more. They want to be ethnically English, or they want their nationality to be also English. And it's interesting because if that's your agenda, that's what you're going to do. But I don't know if that's your kind of agenda. I can't suspect that you have much interest in the affairs of Afro-Caribbeans and Africans and stuff. Could be wrong. I could be wrong. But it just seems to be a thing, you know, from what I've noticed.
That. Tell me, what do you think? What do you think?
If I was born in the Caribbean as a white person, I certainly wouldn't call myself.
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid
Caribbean.
you obviously have you ever been to the Caribbean, Jean?
I haven't. No, I haven't had the fortune.
Well, then you probably don't realise that in countries like Barbados, there are significant white Caribbean.
So one thing we have to understand is nationality and ethnicity, and the reason why it's important is because how people are ethnically, yeah. So we understand that the ethnic group in Jamaica of African descent are known as Afro-Jamaicans, right? And they would be their nationality would be Jamaican, their ethnicity would be Afro-Jamaican, and you also have Indo-Jamaicans where their lineage comes from India, and I don't know if it's white Jamaicans or Euro-Jamaicans. I don't know what I forgot the term for them, but they would be nationalized Europeans who were born and raised in Jamaica, who their lineage comes from English, and they'll be ethnically English, and because they're separated from England in Jamaica, they're given a new term, I assume, Anglo English, something like this, right? Whatever. I think so. What he's saying isn't comparable if you're trying to judge things from an ethnic standpoint. But that's just me talking about things I know. But yeah.
Populations who have been there for hundreds of years, and they are significantly more Caribbean than I am.
Well, all I can say is the whole world is polluting everybody the way it's going.
What's that phrase polluting?
It is.
Why is it polluting, Jean?
Because you are what you are. You are where you are born.
But hang on, Jean.
Your inheritance. It's your inheritance.
Jean, I can tell that you are more senior than I am in age. So I want to be polite.
No, don't do that.
In this conversation. Well, that's how I was brought up, that you're polite to your seniors, Jean. But what I'm saying is the word pollution. Where's that word pollution come from? It's a very negative way.
Well, I'm sorry for that,
but it is negative. It's a negative way to describe the fact that people meet one another.
It's interesting to see black people really trying to communicate to get these definitions.
They fall in love. They have kids. They move borders, sometimes through war, sometimes through economic reasons, and they become what they become when they are of that country. And just as you can be in America, and you can be African American, or you can be Italian American, or you can be Irish American, how is it that here in England you can only claim that Englishness effectively, Jean, if you are white?
Oh yeah, this is well. The thing is, this is you have to understand how white supremacy works, and yeah, that'll define that. But either way, that was just being looking at that. And yeah, I'm very interested in black people born in the UK or just in any white place, but more so where there is a longing to fitting or to join other communities and marry in. And when you're not accepted by them for whatever reason, the devastation it causes is quite intense. I think the solution is to actually focus within and focus on being Afro-Jamaican or whatever it is, living in Britain, but it is what it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so we're going to go to the second topic now. Now, I'm sorry, I can't send links out because it blocks. So if anyone wants to speak on it, I'm sorry about it. Last week it blocked us. I was going to research what happened, but I've actually typed in chat GPT to see if there's a solution. And who knows if it's just some kind of robotic response? I don't know. But yeah, I think it's YouTube says it's banned and stuff, so I can't say that unfortunately. But let's move on to the next topic, which is let's get rid of that. Get rid of that one, please. Oh, is that? I believe so. Yeah, so this is quite shocking. This topic, it's actually quite hard to listen to for me anyway. But let me see if I can find it.
Trying to go eat. The man. Bye night. Hi.
I'm just trying to find it.
The man.
China from Cookie from.
So yeah, I'll put this is I got
from back chat.
Yeah, sorry about all the name. I tell people stop doing name calling, but they don't stop. But the back chat. This is a brand that causes a lot of controversial and gets a lot of clicks through their content. But I think there was a young lady who I think we covered the show with ginger comedian guy who was mistreated black women. I mean, he was triggered on the show because of a comment about something, some argument, and we did cover it before. But I think he was arguing with this sister here. I think so. I think what's happened. She's now arguing with someone else, some other guy. I don't know if he's connected to the show or not. I don't know. I don't really follow it. But I think the guy's mother of the guy's children. I don't know if she's like a public speaker of some kind, but she unfortunately developed sepsis when she was having her children, and they had to amputate her limbs. It's very shocking. That could be a topic in itself, dealing with that kind of challenges in life. I think this lady here was, in order to make fun of him, then tried to make public about the shortcomings of the mother of his children. I think this is where we get to a very terrible ground now, where people are just saying anything, and I don't think there's any value in this, or there's any real. I don't think anything good can come from this, and I think this is why some people they probably need to limit themselves on certain social media, if when they get an argument with again. But this, I've got too much videos on it, but this is what I did find. So.
Disgusting woman. Now, people, please watch this, yeah, and I want you lot to have the same energy like you had when we cancelled Ginger J. Comment the word active, go watch the full YouTube clip. But please watch this.
Just wait so I don't lose my legs and my arms like your baby mom. You're telling me I don't have a husband and I don't have kids. I'd rather be single with no kids with my limbs intact. Your baby mom doesn't have any limbs. Don't shame me. Now he got his baby mum to say she's gonna slap.
Now listen. She's talking about a young lady that gave birth to twins and caught sepsis. You know, a black woman, and she sadly lost her arm up to here, her legs, and she feels like it's okay to come on the internet and say some crazy stuff. This one here, is about to be cancelled. Now, Trend Central, like I said again, Trend Central, what is going on over there with these people?
That's another thing. As we were talking about, and obviously this incident, I think it might have happened outside the show. I don't know, but I've got some other videos of the show, other things happening. But ultimately, some of this stuff, this is what we were saying. We need to look to BBC. You need to start talking like who's running Black Chat, and what discussions to have about this channel, and really trying to get a better balance of it and stuff, and accountability claims for some of the people, the way they speak on the show. Obviously off the show, but they seem to be going for people who have that kind of behavior pattern. They seem to be geared towards obviously the high click shock rate speakers.
Huh? And this woman is the same woman that cancelled Ginger J that was part of it. This woman was the same woman that don't come for black women. This woman was the same woman that now says this about another black woman that wasn't involved in nothing, bro. She gave birth to twins and caught sepsis. And sadly that happens. Scum.
Yeah, I feel like it. But yeah, this is quite shocking behavior. I don't know where this comes from, where people get in arguments and they're looking for children, parents, deceased, disease, misfortune to use as a punchline, and it's I don't know. It needs to be nipped in the bud. It needs to be really like I can't see any benefits coming from this online way of speaking. Let's see if I've got the sister of it.
Name's Black.
This is the sister.
So I was confused, didn't know what's going on. They basically told me our body went into septic shock. I'm very.
I get also maybe trigger warning. Maybe obviously when you listen to people going through trauma, I don't just play stuff, but I'm just so you know the sister.
Very, very lucky to be alive. I was incredibly ill. Like it was life or death. Like I was knocking at death's door. Like my.
And as unfortunate as this is has gone through, she is alive today and she can give testimony. So we have to be thankful for that. And she does have children, and the children can communicate with their mother, which is a blessing for the children.
Even my friend is a nurse. She was like, I see this stuff all the time, Deesh, and I genuinely thought, as from a nurse's point of view, you was going to pass away. Because she's seen it, she knows it. So she's like, even how you're still here, like it's a miracle. So yeah, I was in intensive care for about a month and a bit, HDU, high dependency unit, and then I went onto a ward, and they came and told me basically my limbs ain't gonna get back to normal and I'm gonna need amputation. So at that point, I was
after a month and a bit.
Yeah, they could really tell from when I woke up from my coma that that they were dead, the limbs were dead, they weren't coming back. So I basically. Yeah, so they told me I'm gonna have these amputations. I was like, absolutely not. I've got 4 kids. I can't afford to lose my hands and my, like, you can say what you want to say, but God knows all. Let's see how much my body could heal. So yeah, I tried to long it out as much as possible, but it was a thing where I couldn't go home with my limbs the way they were.
Most unfortunate, and it's good she has the family support, and I suspect, I think she has a channel and stuff, and maybe she's documenting her journey. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know how well these people know each other, but I don't see why the highlighting someone's challenge in life-changing challenges is something that gets you clicks or views. I won't say that any kind of following you have, I think there's a value in correcting someone who goes too far. maybe this isn't any fun anymore. Maybe this is how it is. The black community, I don't think this is what we should be engaging in. I don't think this is correct behavior. But the show that deals with it, I think I saw some other stuff. Let me see. I saw this. I didn't understand the context of this. So, so this is the type of show that these people go on and fight and those kind of stuff. So,
I had sickle cell. You should say I don't care if you don't have sickle cell because I'm a girl, right? My boyfriend is a man. If you care about men's mental health.
A second ago, we had to defend you. Now we can say we don't care if you die.
The mental health conversation kind of flipped on you.
Yeah.
And people were saying that actually, how are you not being respectful to men's mental health?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I don't care.
Look how everyone laughed. Interesting.
China.
Interesting.
China.
Of course it'd be interesting to me. Yeah. No, just
China.
So you see when men have said on social media that women don't care about our mental health, and then we always get told, no, that's not true. That was an example of it. Just here, men's mental health, and people started laughing.
They were laughing because I said I don't care. They're not laughing because they don't care.
So is it that you don't care about? Wait.
I don't know. Regardless of this, they're laughing at men's mental health.
So is it that you don't care about men's mental health at all?
I said what I said, and I stand on what I said. I think it was only she laughed, but she didn't say she doesn't care. I'm the only person out of 5 girls, so that's 1 out of 4, right? So already 4 girls care. I'm the one that doesn't.
Why do you care?
Now, men don't care that the women care. All they care is that I don't care. Yeah? They don't care that the other women online care about men's mental health. And if they cared about men's mental health, why would I be getting messages from men, by the way, saying that my boyfriend should die? Yeah? My boyfriend has sickle cell. Yeah?
Got this.
Yeah.
Got this. But if I don't understand that.
So I assume what's happening. I think because I don't watch these shows. I think maybe the young man who's in there has mocked her boyfriend's illness, sickle cell, which is a very it's a condition we cover here. And many of us know many family members and friends who have sickle cell, if not the full blown challenge, the actual trait. But I think maybe I could be wrong. Maybe they responded by saying, maybe mocking men's mental health. Maybe the person who was speaking to had mental health. I don't know, right? So, but I think that might be connected to this. Now I'm connecting the dots. That might be connected to this. Hold on, let me see.
China.
It might be connected to this. Let me see.
I want to make this very, very clear. You are cancelled to me, bro. I used to rock with you. See, after I saw this, comment the word active, go watch the full YouTube. But watch this disgusting. Watch this.
Listen, respectfully, this youth is suffering from sickle cell. Now, I found out he called up John Wick and their man there. I don't even know who this John Wick youth is. I don't know, but they told me that, he came down and they said, you see the guys by the door, China? I said, what guys? At the end. They said, yeah. They said, raw, they came afterwards. So I'm saying, what? They called man them for me. And what? Them man never said a goddamn thing. They just stood by the door. Because they wasn't there for the show, so they came afterwards. So I'm like, so what? Your man tried to call man for me. Respectfully speaking, your man is suffering from sickle cell. I gave blood for sickle cell, yeah? Go look at my page, yeah? You guys want to be age shaming me. Will your man ever get to see my age? Blood transfusions every, 4 to 6 weeks.
So, yeah, this kind of, you can see where it's going. People are engaging back and forth and trying to find deeper and more painful things to say back. That is definitely error prone. What you said there. That is not what you. Sickle cell is a severe illness that you do not use these terms. Yeah, it's not good.
Will your man ever get to see my age, Paul? You're younger. Your man's suffering. He's sick, very sick.
So what are you saying, China? Because obviously I got a daughter suffering from sickle cell, and you see sickle cell.
Once again, I think it's good for people to express, their feelings and let people know the challenge to go through. But I think this is the world we live in now, where when you're telling people the conditions you have, people will probably try to use it as a come up in some kind of back and forth.
It's a very touchy subject for me. I don't like to share my personal life, but bro, you see.
I recommend you don't. I suspect that if you get an argument, it's the first thing they'll go for. You see, I would say there's a code of conduct that I try to live by, and I recommend when I go out and stuff, and that is, you talk about constructive things. I always say try not to swear or curse. It isn't that I've lived a sheltered life. It's these things quickly escalate, and before you know it, you're trying to find an illness that someone has or a death in someone's family to use as a weapon to publicly scold someone because they have a disagreement to you about some topic or something. And this is what I noticed when I would go out and do public speaking. I would quickly diverge into this kind of stuff. And even though it's not entertaining when someone is controlled and they use constructive language and they try to be solution-based, it minimizes people streaming about the most worst time in someone's life for either revenge, pride, ego, or clicks.
This in the black community for a black brother to come out and say something like this, you're cancelled to man, bro. That's it, cancelled. That's done a full YouTube, and I want to make this very clear to Trend Central that this person never comes on your platform again, bro. Don't worry, we just seen this scumbag Cookie as well, but this person never comes on your platform again. This is disgusting. Head to Bounce's YouTube, go watch the full YouTube clip.
I'm still trying to post this stream. Yeah, this terrible behavior, and I'll probably comment on this in some form or something. This post, man, I really can't post nothing, can I? Let me see if I can. You know what I might be able to do? If I post that, let's see if that works. I can post that. All right, so that is the link, right? So I guess if someone just types in StreamYard, right, StreamYard.com / in your browser and type that number there. Let's see. Can you guys? I'm just going to see something. Hold on. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, this is all copy and paste nonsense. No one's going to do that. I really need to look this up. You know what? It's no point me jumping from StreamYard to something else if YouTube is now blocking third parties from giving links to this. It's just really is that what happened there? Let me write this down so I can run a search on it. I'll do it after the show. Sorry, guys. I doubt you have to join if you want to, but I'm just going to back this up so I can run a search on it. I really don't like having to do work on my weekends. So yeah, family. I got a few more videos, whatever. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I was very shocked by some of the statements, and some of them were going too far, and yeah, I think we need to really come together and stop this this kind of behavior. Although it's quite lucrative, I guess, when it comes to social media to get clicks and stuff. I did see another one.
From Matt.
Maybe I can't keep playing this stuff. Maybe it's too much. Just very, very, very. Also, I thought to play this as well. This is today. As you know, the Israel and America bombed Iran, and they killed the supreme leader of Iran. He's been in control, I think I don't know if he came in the 90s. He was a second or third. I can't remember which one he was. After there was a revolution in their country where they changed everywhere everyone lived. But he was bombed and killed at some time last week, I think it was. But this is what he said. There was some time where I think they captured women. They captured Americans in some scenario in the past, maybe around the 90s or something. And this is what he said about black people. Very interesting.
Perhaps today, some black hostages and some female hostages will be released from the American embassy compound. Is that true?
The freedom of the women and blacks will be given. Women are given great dignity in Islam, and the blacks have been oppressed in the United States. Great injustice was done unto them. They were under pressure in the United States. Thus, they came here. We are doing this owing to the tenets of Islam. In return, we ask nothing for their freedom. We want the Shah. Carter must return him. The world's international law agree with this principle.
I ask you, as an American and a human being, talking to an Iranian and another human being, is there no room for compromise? Or is Iran now, in effect, at war with the United States?
حضرت امام آیا جناب عالی یا به طور کلی ایران در حال حاضر با امریکا در حال جنگ هستیم؟
جنگ مقصود چی است؟ اگر مقصود این است که
What do you mean by war? If you mean our armies against the United States armies, no, there is no such war. If you mean it is a battle of nerves, it is Carter's doing. We are against war. We are Muslims. We desire peace for all. Carter does not allow this. Carter should put aside his so-called humanism and return the criminal Shah so that we can conclude this matter.
So it's interesting. So at that time, some incident happened where there was captured citizens, and he released blacks and women. And he said one of them was that he felt that black people were heavily mistreated in America, so he's not going to continue that. He doesn't want to engage in any. Doesn't want to engage in anything around that, so he's going to let them go. Very interesting there. So that was I believe that was the Iranian lady who was killed not too long ago by Israel and America, Trump and Netanyahu, that kind of stuff. There you go. This is any other video. I might play a bit of this. This is connected to last week as well. This is a European lady with Tourette's, and she's saying the N-word is in her as well.
I have the N-word as a tick with Tourette's syndrome, and as you may
so last week we listened to Black people with Tourette's, the condition, and there is it's not all the same. There is a more severe version of Tourette's, and they were saying that the guy at the BAFTAs had this, and it was you listen to Black people. We said, okay, maybe rather than try to assume someone is black or racist, not racist, we'll listen to the people of Black people who have the condition, and we can have mitigating circumstances. But while we're working that, it's best not to go crazy. But you can be offended. And there was a separate argument that even though you didn't mean to say something, just like someone doesn't mean to step on your foot, or you don't mean to sneeze when someone's doing a wedding speech or something, there is still an apology that can be pushed forward. That is a discussion to have. But also, for me, the bigger discussion was that's another thing. We did say that when Black people say things that Jewish people don't like, they go on like an apology tour, right? And stuff. I think maybe if the BBC seems to be doing so many things that maybe there needs to be some kind of something. And the funny thing is, obviously, the BBC in the UK, for those who don't know, you have to pay. You have to pay TV license. So essentially, Black people are paying TV license to hear the N-word on their shows and stuff, which is, and this is not the first time that the sister obviously demonstrated earlier before that one of the comedians left because of some kind of incident where some guy was keeping shouting the N-word here, there, and everywhere, and when he complained, it wasn't an issue, and they said it was just okay within the context of where the show was. I don't know. There's a bit of this in the movie. You know, so
I've heard there was an actor this weekend at the BAFTA Awards who also has Tourette's and also has an N-word tick. I would like to chime in on the situation and just generally talk about the whole thing from the perspective of somebody with full-blown Tourette's who also has the N-word and many other atrocious things as tics. I have my homie Sam here for moral support / chiming in. So let's dig into it. The long and the short of it is that there were the BAFTA Awards this weekend, which are some film awards, and there was an actor who was invited. He has Tourette's syndrome. They actually nominated his movie, which is all about living with Tourette's syndrome. The movie is called I Swear, and it's all about, I believe, his life with Tourette's. Highly recommend to watch. It looks fantastic. During the movie awards, I do believe that there were many times, at least once, where it was mentioned by the people running the show that somebody in the audience has Tourette's. There more than likely will be uncontrollable noises, profanity, and some things that you just genuinely probably wouldn't expect to hear and don't want to hear. Some bad things. And they basically let everybody know, kind of gave a warning like that. Now at one point in the show, there are you can definitely hear tics in the background, various tics from him. And at one point in the show, there were 2 black actors who were up on stage. And when they were up on stage, this actor with Tourette's had the N-word as a tic. And this has caused a lot of controversy, a lot of uncomfortable feelings.
I think one of the issues was essentially because obviously the how we use the word like random and stuff like that is interesting because the tics, there is awareness, it seems, in many people who have this condition where something by them being aware that something can cause an issue, they say they don't want to say it, and by them doing that, it will come out. So that's why the N word was used specifically to black people when he noticed they were black, right? Now, that's it's a subconscious thing, right? But that shows you that, and then he would use certain slurs and things maybe more specific to other things. And then I think some people, they have like this lady here seems to be making, I assume it's pig noises. I don't know if she's dressed like a pig as well. I don't know if that's like a brand. I don't know what this is about. But so it's an interesting thing. This once again, I'm not an expert. That's why we listen to black people with the condition to really break it down. Everything she's saying is irrelevant. They edit out everything except with and that's the thing. Keep in mind that there's so many people complain about different things. So the people who are complaining about he shouldn't have done it or he's a racist and stuff, once again, I don't think people should go there. I think no matter what the issue is, the BBC, even though we covered this last week, we're covering it now. And there was one person who says that editing out the slurs is offensive thing. That's an interesting debate to have. I disagree with that. But we'll still listen to this lady. It's a shame I can't send links. I don't know if anyone would want to jump to say anything. Let me see if I've got any last videos. Hold on. I think that might be everything.
China goes, oh, so what?
Right, so let's go over what we covered now, and I'll say a bit and then I'll go because I'm quite tired. Let's go back to the show. So this week we covered black people who want to be English. We looked at the sister Nana who works for that show, GB something, I forget, Great Britain News or something like that. And she seemed to be very displeased that she couldn't identify as English, or she wasn't seen as English by a person who's trying to campaign. Usually, I'm not sure if they're trying to campaign for English or British. They're probably trying to kick people who they don't perceive as English or British out. We've seen a few topics of that where that's usually what follows. You're not English, regardless if you're doing it for how long. You're not British, so you have to leave. And then so we're reminded of a case study we did, and we saw patterns. A lot of these brothers and sisters who are deeply offended. They tend to have really socialized in European space and really they marry and people of European descent and stuff. And for those people, it does hurt a lot where they've given themselves tremendously to other groups, and those groups don't embrace them equally as they might do others. And this is very traumatic to some of these brothers. The solution here is you can be living in England, you can live in America, you can live in South Africa, you can live where you want, right? But always be focused on Black betterment, and that is recovering from atrocities from the past. And if you focus within like that, without trying to really give yourself to other communities, the chance of you really being manipulated and hurt will diminish, and how you feel after someone does something will diminish, because your focus will actually more so be on Black betterment, which is Black people having Black issues to help recover from past atrocities. So we covered that. That was the first topic. Then we moved on to mocking the misfortunate online, which is something that we're going to cover again, really. And I might actually get involved in it online and maybe go on other shows about it, talk to some, whatever. And that is, we examine why some Black voices online feel comfortable mocking the misfortunes. I got cut, Oh, no, sorry, the misfortune. That's right. The misfortunate, and yeah, we looked at some there, and I didn't really. There's one sister who mainly was the main motivation drive for it, and that was the sister, unfortunately, who had children and lost limbs. Very shocking, and I think to see that there are people mocking sickle cell, people amputees. There was one who was talking about children and stuff, whatever it was, and this kind of stuff. There was another one. Who was the other one talking about? Mental health, sickle cell, and this kind of things. So I think. I mean, look, it's very hard to be. It's very hard to be on a platform. Someone mock you, mistreat you, and you just like not give it back, right? I understand that, right? Question there: how is it offensive to edit out Tourette's? Yeah, question. Yeah, there was one person who said that editing out is a form of erasure or something like that. But that person we played last week, I think he's from Australia, and his behavioural pattern was all over the shop. He was trying. I don't know. He was quite aggressive towards Black people, it seems, or whatever. So, but yeah, that's definitely a good discussion I'd like to have about. I can't see them passing that. We're not gonna let things just go off. But anyway, back to the thing. Really talking to people about that and the comfortness and the comfiness of something. My family, I'll be that's my alarm, so I have to probably go soon. But all right, family, that's that. It was good. I should try to take some time to try to work out why I can't send the link. I'm sorry about that. If anyone wants to jump on, I don't know what it is. I think something's happened where they've blocked me from sending stuff. So that's most unfortunate. Oh man, and you know what? This ain't even charging. Hold on. Why is this not even charging? Sorry about. Oh, you know what? Sorry, everything's falling apart. Like my machine's just telling me got 4 seconds left, so everything's just shutting down. There we go. Right, so I'll check you guys next week. Hopefully by then I might have found some solution. If you want to jump on, you can. We might cover part 2 of this kind of mock misfortune. There was another topic I wanted to cover as well. What was it? It was I can't remember that. But yeah, we'll see. But if you got any ideas, let me know. You can always follow some Black Betterment broadcast. A building, I think, is on Instagram. Let me check. Hold on. I should know this off head, but I'm sharing with me twice. Give me 4 seconds. Black Betterment building. There you go. Let's see if I can post that. I wonder if they blocked that. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see if they block that. No, they let that go. So yeah, that seems to be a thing. Anyway, because they let that one. Is Instagram and YouTube owned by the same person? They're not, are they? No. What's going on with let me try it one more time. Hold on. I just want to test. Guests can stream this on their site. Okay, no, you have to pay for that. Email, Gmail, Messenger. Send a link to them. I also want to share. What's this one? I'm just checking because it's I can't seem to post it. We had this issue last week. Yeah, it's messing about. I can't remember. I'll try to work out for next week, family. Unless you guys got any questions, we're gonna end the show. Let me know if you got any questions before we go. But YouTube redirected your comment. This is fairly common when sharing a link. You may need to share the link another way. That's just weird. There's no other way to share the link? As in, like, maybe they don't expect you to put the link in the stream. I don't know. Bit weird. Anyway, I'm gonna go. For those who practice black betterment, know that you're loved, and for those who don't know that you're important. Sorry, and those who don't know that you're loved by those who are important. Have a good one, family. Check you guys next week. Until then, black betterment to all black betterment. Have a good one. See ya. Bye.